All right, let's dive into the pretty wild world of China's ultra-short dramas. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry that's getting totally shaken up by a recent crackdown. And it all started with some really cute faces saying some truly shocking things.
Okay, so that sounds like a line straight out of some gritty, dark thriller, right? But the really mind-blowing part of this story is who was saying it.
Yep, a 4-year-old. And this bizarre mix of childhood innocence and really dark adult themes, well, it's at the very center of a huge debate happening in China's digital entertainment world. So you gotta ask, how on earth did we get here?
To really get what's going on, we first have to talk about the phenomenon of these ultra-short dramas. They have become an absolute sensation.
So picture this. They're like super addictive, bite-sized TV shows made just for your phone. They're shot vertically, they're incredibly fast-paced, and they are designed to hook you in literally seconds. You'll often get the first few episodes for free, and then, if you're hooked, you pay to see how the story ends.
Now, to stand out in a really crowded market, writers took all these popular adult drama themes and added a pretty shocking twist. They started casting preschoolers in the main roles. I mean, imagine a 5-year-old with the mind of a reincarnated grown-up, or a toddler who can see into the future. It was a bizarre formula for sure, but audiences were totally hooked.
But, as you can probably guess, this new trend started to show some pretty big cracks. Behind all the cute faces and the viral clips, a really troubling reality for these young actors started coming to light.
This gap between role and reality is captured perfectly in the story of a 4-year-old actor named Yue. In the show, she's playing an old aunt who has magical powers. But in real life, she had absolutely no idea what her lines about draining blood from corpses actually meant. To her, she was just a character with magic powers. The pressure wasn't just about not understanding the lines, it was intensely emotional too. This is what one mother admitted she told her 5-year-old daughter Fan Fang just to get her to cry for a scene. And it worked. The little girl immediately burst into tears.
And this is where it gets really murky, right? It raises this huge ethical question. Where do you draw the line between just coaching a child actor and causing real emotional harm, especially when a child that young can't even tell the difference between pretending and reality?
And it goes way beyond the emotional toll. The working conditions themselves were often just grueling. You had toddlers on standby for 10 hours straight, or being forced to shoot all through the night. Experts warned this could cause serious cognitive confusion and psychological damage. Not to mention their viral fame threw them right into the harsh world of social media and cyberbullying.
So why did this whole trend just explode so fast? And how was it allowed to go on for so long in what was basically an unregulated space? The answer, as it so often does, really comes down to the numbers. The audience for these shows is just massive. It's projected to hit over 660 million users. And when you have an audience that big, there's immense pressure on producers to find new and, often shocking ways to grab people's attention. And with that audience comes big money. We're talking about a market worth around $7 billion US. With that much at stake, the industry just grew way faster than any regulations that were meant to control it, leaving this huge gray area for exploitation.
And the data really proves how popular this got. Check this out. Over 5% of all the ultra-short dramas that users actually save to their personal watch lists starred children in the main roles. Now, 5% might not sound like a ton, but for a niche subgenre like this, it's a huge signal of just how much demand there was.
So, eventually, all this popularity and the growing public backlash finally caught the attention of regulators, and that led to a major intervention that's about to completely change the rules of the game.
China's main media regulator, the NRTA, basically laid down the law with some clear, very strict new guidelines. First off, no more casting kids in adult-like roles. So that 5-year-old tyrannical CEO, that's out. Any plots that are built around scheming, manipulation, or sensationalism are also banned. The whole idea is that the content has to actually align with a child's real-life understanding of the world.
The new rules are definitely a big step, but this whole situation brings up a much bigger question about accountability. When a trend like this goes way too far, who's really responsible at the end of the day? The thing is, the responsibility doesn't just fall on one group. It's really shared. You have the producers who push the boundaries for profit, even calling these crazy scenes a selling point. You have the parents who have a duty to protect their kids. But then there's a third group we often forget about, the viewers. It's our clicks and our views that created the market for this stuff in the first place.
One commentator made this really powerful comparison. They said the demand for these dramas is like the consumer market that keeps intrusive celebrity paparazzi in business. It's a pretty stark reminder that what we choose to watch has real-world consequences.
And that leaves us with one last pretty critical question to think about, especially in our digital age. We all have a hand in shaping the content we see online, so it's worth asking ourselves, what kind of world are we actually building, one click at a time?